Punch TV out of my mama have channel you so make sure say and then the first time I did her channel you and I just always subscribe and yeah my like share we will so be job adventure our comment section ho edit am I the Punch TV the about man yourself the and just say them back and them for and say story be about social media and so I just say agent ye abusuan for mon come home my uncle story na embra ye buy the emunche mu na every.
Yes.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is raising a matter that, Mr. Speaker, we have to pay attention to. This being a house of record, and these are matters that went all the way to the Supreme Court. They are constitutional issues, and we should not gloss over them. The fact of the matter is that when we convened here on the 22nd of October, our colleagues on the other side did not attend proceedings. They were not in this house. They boycotted the sitting. And so we did not have a decision-making quorum. And that is the basis upon which the Speaker ruled, which is clearly stated in the votes and proceedings. So for the majority leader to be using the back door, albeit surreptitiously, to say that there was a mistake by the Speaker, there was no mistake. There was no mistake. The fact of the matter is that we did not have a decision-making quorum. And the Speaker stated emphatically that there were decisions that we had to take. We didn't meet that day to read statements and to exchange pleasantries and to file questions and all of that. There was a motion, there was the need to take a decision. And we didn't have a quorum to take that decision. We didn't have the minimum 138 to take a decision. We didn't have that. So, Mr. Speaker ruled clearly. And Mr. Speaker, in case the majority leader wants us to refer him again to page 8, the Speaker's ruling is there clearly that the House, per Article 1041 of the Constitution, did not have the numbers to take a decision because there was, according to the Speaker, a matter that required a decision to be taken. And we did not have the numbers to take a decision. So if you read it, it's stated there clearly. Just read the ruling fully. And you see that the Speaker was very, very clear that we were meeting to take decisions. And we did not have a quorum to take a decision. So Majority Leader, this is your attempt to use the back door to rewrite what had happened and to even suggest that the Speaker made a mistake. And you know our standing orders. If the Speaker made a mistake, have you come by motion to challenge the ruling of the Speaker? The Speaker's ruling has not been challenged. And that is the ruling of this House. That's what that's what the records reflect. So Mr. Speaker, I think that we have to really make progress. The Speaker has not made a mistake. What transpired here is clear. You called for an emergency sitting. You ran away. You didn't show up. We were here. You were nowhere to be found. I actually thought you used this opportunity to apologize to Mr. Speaker and all of us who had to leave our campaigns and come to this House, and indeed the entire Ghanaian populace. So, Honorable Afenyo Markins, you should be apologizing to us, to Mr. Speaker and Ghanaians, not trying to distort what happened in this House, which has been accurately reflected per our records.
Yes, Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you just called for correction of votes and proceedings. It is entirely in the bosom of the House that if a mistake has been done, we correct it now. That contorted argument that no decision was being made, so calling that order to enforce is wrong. He himself in speaking, he said that there was no decision on the other paper to be made. So maybe we should take advantage that the item on the table now, on the floor now, is correction of votes and proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, if something has been stated wrongly, this is the time to correct it so that we can move on.
Honorable members, I think we should just proceed. The person who raised the issue said his reference was to a different order, votes and proceedings, dated Thursday, 7th November 2024, not the one we're considering, dated Tuesday, 22nd October 2024. And so that ends it. As for the others, those who believe that I erred in my ruling may need to be taken to school. I'm not sure they read the ruling very well. And that ruling actually worked in their favor. Honorable Majority Leader, it actually worked in your favor. And for you to come here and try to impede on that ruling, please, I really was surprised that you raised the issue that you put across. It's not correct. Please.
It will don't intend the temperature. Mr. Speaker, I never raised this matter. Honorable Rashid.
I'm not saying you raised the matter. I've not said that.
Mr. Speaker, calm
but
down.
you gave an example that I told you. I'm sure you are talking about maybe in private.
No, Mr. Speaker,
that
that's
sometimes
different.
the speaker errs.
Mr. Speaker, not on this occasion. It was not related to this. Mr. Speaker, it's not related to this. Mr. Speaker, today is the first day. Don't mind them. They are provoking you. Don't mind them. It is not like, Mr. Speaker, don't mind them. Don't be provoked. Mr. Speaker, be a very happy man. I beg you. I don't want them
Don't worry, I will never be provoked.
Mr. Speaker, that's
but
okay.
the public, they are listening to us.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't relate it.
You know,
I beg you.
And the public will be misled. I gave about 3 reasons. And I'm sure you didn't avert your mind to the 3rd reason. For the reason why I adjourned, actually not suspend, I adjourned the meeting indefinitely. And I listened to some of you debate this matter on air. And I thought you should have been commending me for adjourning it, but you were rather condemning me for doing so. It saddened me, but I understand the arena we are in. And so I've taken it cool in my stride. As we go along, we'll have to deepen the orientation and training of members of parliament so that we don't get the public being confused by you who are seen as leaders, you who are seen who should know better, rather misleading them. So let's go back to the correction of votes and proceedings on.
Very much for the opportunity to make a comment on the business statement presented by the leader of government business. And Mr. Speaker, one thought that the leader would take a cue from your guidance. There are major developments in the country, and therefore, as a house, Mr. Speaker, one of the most important business this house should preoccupy itself with is the expenditure in advance of appropriation for January to March 2025. Arguably, Mr. Speaker, because the new government, which will assume the powers of government from 7th January, will have to put its act together in order to get a budget before the reconstituted parliament on midnight of 6th to 7th January. Therefore, what we are expected to do is to know, one, how the workers of this country will be taken care of in respect of compensation. Then, if there are interest payment commitments on loans in order that the country does not stand in default that would also be addressed. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst you were giving your comments, I'm not sure the leader was listening. So that is major business. As for wanting to commit the new administration to some of the policy guidance, Mr. Speaker, we note that this government has a mandate until midnight of 6th January. But cautiously, they should be guided that they are not committing the incoming administration to some fiscal and budget constraints with some of the decisions they want to make. So he should, as you guided, Mr. Speaker, some of it that he wants to, some of the business he wants to take, even though he says that he wants understanding and consensus, he should be guided and prioritize government business. Our first major business should be the expenditure in advance of appropriation. That this House must concern itself with. The other business can wait. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, the list of priorities for this meeting, Mr. Speaker, I want to respectfully appeal to you. As you read through your list of priorities, I was hoping to hear that we will include work on the constitutional amendment bill on the dual citizenship matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, I thought that we had come very far on that, but I didn't hear you speak to that matter, and it also doesn't find expression here in the business statement. So, Mr. Speaker, if you can probably avert your mind to that. Then, Mr. Speaker, the second issue that I want to raise relates to the tall list of tax waivers that the majority leader continues to present to this House in business statements. Mr. Speaker, we have stated our position on this matter, and considering the fact that all of these matters have been voted against and rejected by the Ghanaian people, why is the majority leader still putting it in the business statement and wanting to get us to work on these matters, which are so unpopular? A tall list, over 40 tax waivers, Mr. Speaker, and this will have serious fiscal implications for the next government. I mean, why do you want to saddle the next government with these huge revenue losses when you have been roundly rejected at the polls? And this is a government talking about coming to cut down obnoxious and nuisance taxes. And then you are creating more fiscal liabilities for us. So, Mr. Speaker, we want to serve notice that these tax waivers, we are not going to support them. So, please listen to the Right Honourable Speaker's list of priorities, particularly the budget for the first 3 months of next year. As for tax waivers, we cannot support you. Honourable Afenyo, we cannot support you. So you need to really get this out of the business statement. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Dr. Matthew Opeku-Prope. Opoku-Prempe, yes.
It's not hyphenated.
It's not.
It's not.
Only the NAPO is together.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thought the minority leader and the majority leader had come to an understanding as far as government business that we can pursue this session that we are undergoing. Just to get up and say that Ghanaians have totally rejected MPP and all his bills and all his encumbrances is a very, very unfair statement, Mr. Speaker. It's a very, very unfair statement in the sense that there are other things that have been programmed that I think that we shouldn't even bother to do. Why should we at this time take up any bill, whether it is environmental bill or social bill? I think the new government then should come and start, because we are resetting. And I agree, Ghanaians voted for resetting. So, Mr. Speaker, let's probably, the only thing we have to do is to take the vote on account and close shop. We should not continue with any business here, because like Honorable Okujeto said, and rightly so, Ghanaians have voted for the resetting agenda of Nkoko Nkiti. So, not only that, Mr. Speaker, apart from the vote and proceedings and maybe his end of service benefits that he's very much interested in, every other thing, social protection bill, second reading of bills, third reading, so that we have enough time to do Article 71 business and do vote on account, such that, yes, if it is not worth doing, it's not worth doing. Please. So we have agreed on resetting. Let's close shop on everything. Do those that are interested in that will further his own personal interest. And close shop. Thank you.
To add that, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Leader of the House suggested we sit on Saturday. Mr. Speaker, that is totally rejected. There's no reason for us to sit on Saturday. Mr. Speaker, on 2 occasions, his side dragged us out of our constituencies to this house to do what he described as urgent business, which is not different from what is placed here. He refused to even come and do his own business. Now that you have called us under normal circumstances, he's asking us to add another day, a Saturday. Mr. Speaker, what is the justification? And that is why I adopt the position by the former running mate of New Patriotic Party, my own friend, Honorable Dr. Opoku Prempe, who says that we should take the businesses that are urgent, that is appropriation in advance expenditure in advance of appropriation, and those items that are time bound. And then we call it a day. The new government comes and decide what priorities are. Then we do them, Mr. Speaker. So I think, Leader, we beg you. I know you have a tough job, but to assume that we can do, you know it yourself, we cannot start any bill now. We've never even done it before. It is just not, and I would encourage you. The atmosphere in the House today appears to be cordial. I entreat you to entrench the peaceful nature of this House towards Friday. Any attempt to do other things may not be good. And you also said the whips should do something about welfare. Leader, you have the key to addressing the welfare issues of this House. I have no control over the finance minister. I have no control over the common fund administrator. You can do that. I don't even know the last time I saw the how do you call it, the common fund administrator. All I know is that during the campaign, candidates of a particular party receive a lot of goodies from common fund. It's not from her. It's not from her. Okay. Honorable Dr. Poku Prempe said that it's not from her. I just said, I didn't mention any name. I said they receive goodies. One particular party received goodies that appear to be goods from common fund. But if it's not from her, fine. But the only people who can cause the common fund administrator to disburse to the assemblies, the only person who can cause the common fund administrator to fulfill her mandate as in the Constitution is you, not our side. But if he fails, maybe we would advise ourselves. So there is no shifting of responsibility. You have the opportunity. I've seen people call you majority leader today. Lift your the expectation. We have 5 days to prove you are majority leader. Otherwise, we take it from you. I will reserve.
The Punch TV adofo no memo makwa aba channel yi so make sure say na first time I dey channel yi na just subscribe dey am no like no share we so be jaw adwen chire e comment section ho e dey am The Punch TV dey